Hi, I'm Connor Mead, and we're today at the 2016 Canadian Science Policy Conference. And joining me today is Dr. Saryeddine, who's the Executive Director of Research and Innovation at CareCAN. So, Dr. Saryeddine, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Connor.
So, to get us started off, I wonder if you can tell us a little bit about CareCAN, what makes it unique, and what makes it important.
Absolutely. CareCAN is the national voice of patient care organizations in Canada. It's newly formed in 2014 on the legacy organizations of the Association of Canadian Academic Healthcare Organizations, which represented the research hospitals, and the Canadian Healthcare Association, which has a very long history. So we're old and we're new at the same time. Our president and CEO is Mr. Bill Thole, and the members of CareCAN are patient care organizations across the country, including the majority of the country's research hospitals and other types of patient care organizations.
Great. So what are some of the unique challenges of managing research hospitals and driving innovation in that sector?
Well, research hospitals are very near and dear to our hearts, I think, as all Canadians. Not only do they deliver essential patient care services, but they have a unique mandate of the integration of care, training, and research. And what this means is that they help to train the next generation of clinicians and researchers, and they also help to bring new and innovative practices and research to the bedside. They also have very large contingents of basic science research, and this is the research that across the continuum helps to bring new medicines and devices to the bedside.
Great. So what do you think are some of the biggest challenges in terms of communicating the impact and the value of these institutions to the Canadian public and to policymakers?
That's a great question. I think first and foremost, because the primary mandate of these organizations is patient care, there's a very heavy focus on the patient care side. And the research and training that is being done in the name of patient care. And so the communication of research impact and innovation almost becomes secondary to the primary mandate of the organization. Having said that, there is an extraordinary amount of research and innovation and successes that are being captured by the media. For example, CareCAN has a CIHR-funded Innovation Sensation database. It's available on our website, and it has close to 6,000 research and innovation successes from research hospitals across the country dating back to 2012. And so you can see that the media is capturing the impact of research and innovation. We also have a number of productivity measures and impacts, a very large research budget of $2.6 billion across the research hospital organizations in our country. But I think the primary focus really is that these are patient care organizations, and so it changes the nature of perhaps the way research and innovation is communicated, and also perhaps understood among science policymakers.
Great. So what do you think would be the added value of an expanded focus on research and innovation in research hospitals and in healthcare innovation generally?
Well, I think the interesting thing is that we call it a hidden gem because it may not be as understood in the national and federal policy framework. So we don't actually have a national federal policy framework for research hospital research funding and policy. But the value of expanding that is that it would increase the sustainability of those three missions. So the way research and innovation is funded in research hospitals is through a variety of sources. These organizations are very entrepreneurial. They're very successful in competing for funding. But it is sort of a patchwork quilt that's made in part through foundation funding, through granting agency funding, through international funding, through private sector funding, and being more deliberate about how those pieces, how the different funding sources can interconnect, and how we connect, say, funding for operations, salary, capital for research and innovation. This would make a more coordinated system and a more sustainable system over time.
Great. So what do you think that policymakers can do in the short term to help support the work of research hospitals and of patient care organizations and other organizations that you represent?
Well, thank you for that question, Connor. We have three advocacy areas right now that we're focusing on. One is infrastructure, because really important that the infrastructure be up to date and well functioning. So we ask that research hospitals be eligible for federal infrastructure funding, and that they have a return on investment to Canada if they're eligible for this funding. And there has been progress in this domain. It's been really exciting to see in the last federal budget that research hospitals were eligible to apply for the Strategic Investment Fund. So we'd like to see continued expansion of eligibility of research hospitals for direct application to federal funds. Next area is that we feel it's very important that our federal granting agencies, especially the Canadian Institute for Health Research, be adequately funded, because researchers need to be able to access those funds to do the important research that they're doing. A third area is, as we talked about, allowing research hospitals to function just the way universities, colleges, and businesses do when it comes to accessing federal and national opportunities for research and innovation. So if you go to the CareCAN website, you'll see a variety of the submissions that CareCAN members have made to, for example, Minister Bain's innovation agenda. We've offered our thoughts and submissions to that, to Minister Duncan's science review, to Minister Bain's, to Minister Sohi's infrastructure consultations. So we are very interested in contributing to the national agenda, and also to hopefully being eligible and valued participants in that planning process.
Fantastic. Well, Dr. Saryeddine, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting.
Thanks,
and
Connor.
really hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much.
Thank you.